When we think about inventions that shaped the world, electricity, the wheel, the printing press, our minds race to the familiar giants. But there's one invention, almost invisible in everyday life, quietly powering the modern world and quietly revolutionizing humanity. It's so fundamental, so essential, that without it, almost everything we rely on would collapse. This invention isn't a flashy gadget or a towering structure. It's a concept, a technology so subtle that most people don't even realize it exists. Yet, it underpins our communication, transportation, medicine, and even our economy. Imagine a world without this invention. No phones, no internet, no rapid global travel, no advanced machines or digital networks. It's hard to grasp how much depends on it because it's woven deep into the fabric of our civilization, acting silently behind the scenes. What is this invention? The answer will surprise you. It is the invention of standardized time and timekeeping systems. Yes, the very way we measure, divide, and organize time is an invention, one that we take for granted but that shaped modern society more than any single machine. Before standardized time, communities used local solar time. Noon in one town could be minutes different from noon just miles away. This made travel, communication, and commerce chaotic. The Industrial Revolution demanded precision. Railways, telegraphs, and factories couldn't function without synchronized clocks. This invisible invention transformed how humans relate to each other, work, and live. It created the framework for modern life. The journey to standardized time was far from simple. For centuries, each town relied on the sun's position, meaning every place kept its own local time. This worked fine for small communities but created chaos as travel and communication expanded. The breakthrough came with the rise of the railways in the 19th century. Trains crisscrossed countries at speeds unimaginable before, but timetables were a nightmare. Imagine a train scheduled to arrive at noon, but noon was different every few miles. Collisions, missed connections, and confusion were common. To solve this, Britain introduced railway time in 1847, based on Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, named after the Royal Observatory in London. Gradually, other countries followed, creating time zones to unify regions. This system allowed people, trains, and businesses to coordinate like never before. The invention of the telegraph accelerated this change. Suddenly, time signals could be sent instantly across continents, synchronizing clocks with unprecedented accuracy. For the first time in history, the world began to measure time as a shared experience. Standardized time reshaped society's rhythm. Work hours became regular, markets opened and closed simultaneously, and technology progressed rapidly. It wasn't just a technical fix, it was a profound shift in how humanity understood and controlled its place in time. When we think of technology that powers our world, it's easy to focus on the flashy devices, smartphones, computers, satellites. But beneath the surface lies a silent, invisible force that makes all these marvels possible. The precise measurement and standardization of time. Standardized time is the unseen backbone of our digital age. Every moment, countless devices rely on perfectly synchronized clocks to communicate and function. The internet, a sprawling network connecting billions, depends on accurate timestamps to ensure data arrives in the correct sequence. Without this precise timing, your emails could arrive jumbled, video calls would drop, and financial transactions might fail or be duplicated. Take GPS, for example, a technology many of us depend on daily. GPS satellites carry atomic clocks that keep time with extraordinary accuracy, far beyond anything mechanical clocks can achieve. By measuring the tiny differences in the time it takes signals to travel from satellites to your device, GPS calculates your exact position on Earth within meters. Without this synchronization, navigating cities, oceans, or airways would be almost impossible. Financial markets provide another dramatic example. Modern stock exchanges execute millions of trades every second, with billions of dollars changing hands. These trades rely on split-second timing across global markets to ensure fairness and prevent fraud. If clocks weren't perfectly aligned, the entire financial system's integrity would collapse, creating chaos and mistrust. Even medicine depends on precise timekeeping. Advanced medical devices, MRI machines, pacemakers, heart monitors, must synchronize measurements down to milliseconds to diagnose and treat patients effectively. In power grids, where electricity supply must match demand continuously, synchronized timing keeps millions of homes and industries powered without interruption. In short, the invention of standardized time transformed from a simple scheduling tool into the foundational infrastructure for modern society's most complex systems. Without it, our digital communications, navigation, finance, healthcare, and energy systems would falter. This invisible invention, measuring and synchronizing time, remains one of humanity's greatest achievements, quietly shaping every second of our lives. The invention of standardized time did more than synchronize clocks and machines. It fundamentally transformed how humans live, work, and relate to one another. Before this shift, time was a local, fluid experience dictated by nature's rhythms: sunrise, sunset, church bells, or the tolling of a town clock. But as the Industrial Revolution gained momentum, these natural measures no longer sufficed. Factories demanded punctuality and regularity. Trains needed precise schedules to avoid accidents. Businesses sought to coordinate trade across growing distances. Standardized time introduced the idea that time was not just a natural phenomenon but a resource measurable, divisible, and governable. It transformed society's relationship with time from a flexible, communal rhythm into a strict, linear progression segmented into hours, minutes, and seconds. This shift brought immense benefits but also new pressures. The workday became regimented. People's lives were structured by clocks rather than seasons or moods. Time discipline became a social expectation, influencing everything from school bells to lunch breaks, to the start and end of work shifts. The impact rippled beyond economics and logistics. It altered human psychology and culture. Punctuality became a virtue, efficiency a goal. Time, once experienced as a natural flow, was now measured, controlled, and commodified. This standardization also connected the world in unprecedented ways. Time zones created a shared temporal framework, enabling global communication, international business, and even coordinated responses to crises. We began to see ourselves not just as inhabitants of local communities, but as participants in a vast, interconnected world operating on a unified clock. Yet, this new temporal order also sparked resistance and reflection. Artists, philosophers, and writers questioned whether this mechanized sense of time stripped life of spontaneity and depth. Today, as we wrestle with the relentless pace of modern life, it's worth remembering how this invisible invention reshaped not just schedules, but our very experience of existence. The invention of standardized time may seem invisible, but its impact is monumental and ever-growing. It's the invisible thread weaving together the fabric of our modern existence, from the way we communicate and travel to how economies function and societies organize themselves. As we move deeper into the digital age, the precision and synchronization of time become even more critical. Emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and quantum computing rely on impeccable timing to work effectively. Space exploration, autonomous vehicles, and even climate monitoring depend on timekeeping with extraordinary accuracy. Yet, despite its foundational role, many of us overlook this invention, treating time as something given rather than created, an abstract force rather than a human achievement. This invention reshaped not only technology but our very perception of reality. It taught us to see time as measurable and divisible, a resource to be managed and optimized. But this brings a profound question. As we become more connected and dependent on precise time, are we losing something essential? Are we sacrificing spontaneity, creativity, and human connection to the relentless ticking of the clock? Understanding the story of standardized time invites us to rethink how we engage with it. Can we balance the demands of precision and efficiency with moments of pause, reflection, and freedom? The invention of standardized time is a powerful reminder that many of the structures we live by are human-made, and therefore can be changed and adapted. It encourages us to be conscious of how we use our time, to appreciate its value, and to shape our relationship with it mindfully. If this journey through the hidden history of timekeeping inspired you, please like and subscribe for more deep dives into the inventions that shape our world. Share this video to spark curiosity in others about the things we often overlook. And tell us in the comments, how do you manage your time in this fast-paced world? What habits help you find balance? Remember, time is not just ticking away. It's a tool we can master. Embrace its power and shape your future.